We just received a huge scoop on the channel that Nebraska has not one, but two silent commits. This brand new one is a big time running back. I'm going to let you know who he is, what's going his recruitment, and everything else you need to know, when you can expect an announcement. This is a big inside scoop. And then a couple other bits of news that I want to share with you. Some elite 2027 visitors who are going to be in town this weekend. A recent 4-star decommit that you're going to want to keep your eyes on. What's actually going on with Nebraska recruiting behind the scenes. I'm going to give you a nugget there. A couple other key prospects who will be committing very soon. Somebody is committing tomorrow. I'm going to give you the forecast and a couple other things that I want to share with you as the video progresses. So really quick, this is a big time loaded video. Make sure you watch the entire thing. If you're just having a good day, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, we're getting so close to 12,000. Let's hit it this week. If you're a diehard Husker fan, I appreciate all of you. This is the place for you for daily Husker content, recruiting updates just like this, breaking news. Please hit that subscribe button, join the family, help us at 12K. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about, and I want to get things started with an inside scoop that we just received on the channel. The media has not picked up on this just yet, and I want to give credit where credit is due. My man over on Instagram, Recruit Huskers, me and him have been chatting for a while now. He does a great job on that platform, and he just recently informed me that he has been chatting with the Zevin Walker, longtime Nebraska running back target, just committed to Oklahoma, and he basically DM'd to Zevin. He said, hey, why are you no longer visiting Nebraska? Why did you commit to Oklahoma before giving the Huskers a real opportunity? And you know what Zevin Walker responded with? He said, and I quote, "You guys already had a commit at running back," end quote. So it's very clear to Zevin Walker that he was informed that he's just not needed in Nebraska anymore. We already have our guy at that running back position, and that's why he decided to shut things down after his visit to Oklahoma last weekend. Now, was that a good decision by the staff? I think that Zevin Walker is very talented. It remains to be seen, but it tells you that we already have our guy at running back. Now, we have two options. It's either going to be Jamal Rule, 3-star running back coming out of the East Coast, or it's going to be 4-star Brian Bonner. Now, I can safely tell you, I've done a little bit of digging since that conversation. I can safely tell you that it is Jamal Rule coming out of the East Coast. He will be announcing on Monday. He's down to Nebraska, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. He's visiting Michigan State this weekend, but he said multiple times that Michigan State really isn't even in the process. So I think he's just giving them a look, but it's going to be Nebraska here. Again, 6 foot tall, about 210 pounds. Somebody who, in my opinion, is a very high floor running back, kind of a low ceiling type of guy. Like, he's probably never going to be a star at the next level. And again, I'll save my full analysis for when he actually commits. But this is somebody the staff really likes, can have some decent speeds, a track athlete, can lay the boom on you, can be a short yardage back. And I also want to preface by saying this. It's very clear that Nebraska wants to take 2 running backs in this cycle. So while Jamal Rule looks like he's going to commit on Monday, all signs point to that, it means that we are not out of the Brian Bonner sweepstakes as well. 6'1", 185 pounds coming out of LA. Now, he will be visiting Notre Dame this weekend. That's been kind of off and on over the past couple weeks. They already have 2 running back commits, so we'll see if he even makes that trip. Penn State, he visited last weekend. He had a very good time, but for all intents and purposes, I still think this is down to Nebraska and UCLA, and then Washington's kind of in there. Washington already has a running back commit. So really, I think it's going to be Nebraska or UCLA. The Huskers really, really want Brian Bonner. We're building up that West Coast connection, as we're going to talk about later in this video, with another silent commit who will be announcing tomorrow, by the way. But, you know, Brian Bonner said multiple times he's not decided. He's going to commit in July. I don't think we're going to land him. I'm going to be very honest with you. I just think that he's going to probably want to stay home, stay on the West Coast. UCLA's been doing a really good job recruiting recently. Now, I don't know how UCLA's out recruiting us. That doesn't make any sense to me. But Brian Bonner, somebody who still keep your eyes on, because we're still in this process. We do want 2 running back commits, but I think at this point in time, we might just take Jamal Rule and say, hey, we're done, which would kind of suck. Like, honestly, I do want 2 running backs. I want a guy like Brian Bonner who has that high potential to be a potential 1st, 2nd round draft pick. I don't know if Jamal Rule has the potential, but we'll just see what happens there. But Brian Bonner, obviously not out of it, but wanted to give you that update around him. It looks like it's probably going to be UCLA. Penn State kind of in the process, but it's going to be usually Washington or Nebraska. I give the advantage to UCLA right now, but again, if Nebraska can give him the right NIL money and say, hey, if you come here, you're going to get on the field right away, I think that's going to be enough to potentially get him to Lincoln. Then a couple 2027 guys I want to mention before we get into some big nuggets around players committing soon, what's going on in Nebraska recruiting behind the scenes. Cameron Wagner is going to be in town as we speak. This is somebody in the 27 class who's a top 100 prospect coming out of Chicago, Illinois, Nebraska. Already has been going after him for a very long time. Has a great connection with Trey Taylor. This could very well be Nebraska's next commit. Cameron Wagner, very good individual, and I'm not just saying that because he follows me on Twitter. Shout out to Cameron Wagner. But again, he's a good individual. I think he's going to commit to Nebraska pretty quickly here because Trey Taylor has been peer recruiting him so much. They've known each other for a very long time. So just watch out for this guy. He could be on commitment watch. He could drag it out to next next summer. We'll see. But 27, big time offensive tackle. Amari Vickerson's going to be visiting in the 27 class as we speak. He's a 4-star defensive lineman out of Houston, Texas, 6'3", 260 pounds. Bunch of good offers, most notably Texas in there. Just watch out for that name. He'll be in town. And then one other guy, Nathaniel Mensah, who's a low 3-star corner coming out of California. Nebraska just offered him. This could be kind of like a Danny Odom type of prospect where he starts to blow up here. 6'2", very, very speedy, good athleticism. Again, has that size that Nebraska really likes. So just watch out for this prospect, but he's very interested in the Huskers. They just offered him. So that's a guy, and once again, in the 27 class who just keep that name in the back of your pocket for a long time. All right, somebody who I want to put on your radar because he just decommitted is Jarvis Strickland, offensive tackle, 4-star prospect, 6'6", about 300 pounds. The reason why I'm mentioning him is because he visited Nebraska last fall for the Wisconsin game. He was very impressed. Now, he was recently committed to Kentucky, but just decommitted. Now, looks like Vanderbilt and Louisville, they're the two teams that were trying to flip him for a long time, but I wouldn't be shocked if he stays uncommitted, if Nebraska got him on a potentially another visit in the fall. Again, they've been very aggressive with this offensive line. They've done a good job with the offensive line. So let's say they miss out on Clavin Puma. Let's say they miss out on Kelvin Obot. Wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska tries to get Strickland back on another visit here. But this is somebody who's already visited Lincoln a couple times. Very impressed with this program. So just watch out for the name because he decommitted. We'll see if Nebraska was one of the reasons why he decommitted. We'll see. But just watch out for that. Then I want to show you this post by my man Tim Verghese over there at Rivals. I thought he had a really interesting thing. A couple of people sent this to me. He said, to my knowledge, lack of NIL resources hasn't been the issue in any of these recent recruiting losses for Nebraska. The Huskers are playing the long game. There is no reason to overspend in June for recruitment when you can outright win them in the fall with on-the-field results. It's a gamble on themselves. I completely agree with Tim. And this is something that I told you guys over the past couple of weeks. We're not losing these recruiting battles because of NIL. I mean, partly we are. We're not willing to overspend, but we have the money. We have the money to overspend if we do want to. But really, Nebraska, they're holding a lot of this money because they value the transfer portal a lot more. That's why we had a great transfer portal last year. We're going to have a great transfer portal class this year because a lot of this money that we have a lot of money, but we're saving it for the portal. So what Nebraska is doing is they're saying, hey, you know, let's, for example, Ryan Mozee, we might flip him. We're not going to go crazy with NIL money, but we're hoping that on the field results will speak for itself and then we could flip him in general, just not now, right? So I saw that to say this, that just tells you Nebraska's class is not going to be very good before the season, but it puts a lot more pressure on Nebraska being good. If Nebraska's not good this year, then their recruiting class is going to be terrible. And that's why I told you guys it could be the beginning of the end because Nebraska is literally gambling this entire class. It's either we're very successful this year, we're going to flip a lot of prospects because we're not willing to overspend, or we're not good this year, we're still not willing to overspend. We have one of the worst classes in America, and that's where kind of the decline happens. So, again, Tim kind of said everything that I've been telling you guys for weeks. We're putting a lot of gamble. We're gambling a lot on this season. Okay, we have a lot of confidence internally that we're going to be a 9-10 win team. Again, it's very important for a multitude of reasons, but our recruiting is really the number one reason why we need to win. And then a couple guys who are committing soon. Luke Sorensen is a silent commit. He will be committing tomorrow. Again, it's going to be the Huskers, guarantee it. I'd bet everything on it. I would bet my entire channel. Okay, I should not say that. But Luke Sorensen, this guy who I consider a 4-star tight end, he'll be committing to Nebraska tomorrow. Big time. Again, I'll save my analysis for when that video actually comes out, so make sure to be here. I will release it the second he commits. But also, he's been peer recruiting Kason Thomas. He's in the comment section on Instagram posts. You know where home is, quit playing. So, again, Luke Sorensen, he's not hiding it. He knows he's a Husker. He'll be committing tomorrow. I'd say probably in the afternoon, like 2 or 3 o'clock. Just, again, make sure to put notifications on for that announcement. Dane Odom, I told you guys he's committing on Monday, pretty much down in Nebraska, Oklahoma, Ohio State. The Huskers can impress him. We will see what happens there, but I'd probably say Oklahoma is the heavy favorite. Then you got Calvin Thomas, who will be committing very soon. He just hinted at that on his Twitter account. It's going to be Texas here. He visited Nebraska last week, and Huskers are just too late. So it looks like Calvin Thomas will be committing to Texas. We have some concerns with this linebacker recruiting right now. And then a couple other things here. Kam Wilson just visited Syracuse last weekend. He canceled his visit to Florida State this weekend. He's going back to Syracuse, and it was reported by a Syracuse beat reporter that he is 100% locked into Syracuse. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't buy that. I think Kam Wilson's still on flip status. I would watch out for this guy in July, in August, and September. I still believe when it's all said and done, he's going to flip to Nebraska. I'm very, very confident in it. I mean, he's kind of telling people what they want to hear, whether it's Nebraska beats or whether it's Syracuse beats. But just know we're definitely not out of it when it comes to Kam Wilson. Yeah, I'm not buying those headlines. And even though he's going back to Syracuse, I think right now he thinks he's committed, but a lot can change, especially when Syracuse doesn't have the year that probably they're expecting. So, all right, guys, that is everything going over these Nebraska Nuggets. Again, we go over all of the official visitors in today's earlier video. So if you haven't checked that out, that'll be linked down below. We have a lot of Nuggets talking about every single visitor who will be in town. Also want to mention that I'm posting my offensive line positional preview tomorrow with in-depth graphics, statistics, and all that. So make sure to support that at about 10 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock a.m. Central. We're posting that. And that'll be a big time video. Very honest conversation. That's probably my best one yet, talking about a position. So make sure to watch out for that one. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts about everything. Hit that like button and subscribe if you made this far in the video. As always, folks, go be grad, go Matt Roll, and I'll see you in the next one.